Today, I'm going to share with you 3 key lessons that have transformed my singing in 2023. And I'm also going to share some practical advice so you can implement this into your own practice session as we move into 2024. So lesson number 1, fundamentals are king. If you're constantly running into the same vocal problem, singing feels a bit harder than you'd like, it's not as consistent, and maybe those high notes are just not there. If you have tried everything but you keep running back to these same problems, then this most likely means your fundamentals need to be strengthened. And this was a big focus for me in 2023. I spent a lot of times reworking my voice and spending a lot of time diving deeper into the fundamentals, because I found that if you can just really focus on those fundamentals, it can take your singing a lot further than you think. Even now when I'm performing, I just feel like there's a better sense of ease with my singing, and also everything just feels much more consistent. And so what do I mean by the fundamentals? Think about this just for a moment. For a lot of us who are on this journey of learning how to sing, what exactly are we trying to develop? For a lot of us, we just want to be able to go through our range easily and smoothly without any kind of interruptions, without straining, without flipping, without doing anything funny. That's it. And so if we understand that this is a goal because it's going to allow you to sing a lot of songs easier, what are the key things that allow this to happen? And this was such a key learning for me, because I used to think I had to find this mixed voice, do all these kind of funny different things, right? But when I really stripped it down, there's only 2 things we need to consistently execute. And so the first thing here is we just got to keep our chords together. And then really the second one is we just need to stretch them. No. And so when I'm doing an exercise like that, I'm really just combining those 2 things, keeping those chords together, and then I stretch them. But you see, most beginners don't focus on this. Heck, even me, I find that I always get distracted myself by all these fancy terminologies, these fancy vocal exercises, without really thinking about deep down what we are actually trying to develop. And so if you're in this boat, a really simple practical advice for you is this. Number 1, for your next practice session, go through all the vocal exercises, all those little routines or little warm-ups that you normally do, and just ask yourself, what is this exercise trying to teach me? What is the goal? How do I even do it right? And also, what can I get rid of? Often we're just so cluttered full of different vocal exercises that we never take the time to really strip them down and focus on the key fundamentals. More is not always going to be better. Now, the second piece of practical advice is if you're hearing these terms, the stretch of the vocal folds, connecting those chords together just enough, keeping them together, and you're like, what is Ivan talking about? After the end of this episode, I want you to go check out episode 129, 131, and 132, because I dive into those fundamentals of the stretch, connecting the chords a lot deeper. Now, before we dive into the second lesson that transformed my voice in 2023, real quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ivan, and my goal on this channel, this podcast, is to make learning how to sing as simple and as easy as possible. Because let's face it, learning how to sing can be so confusing. There's all these different terminologies, all these different jargons out there. And I really want to make this simple for everyone who's on this journey. And so if that is up your lane, consider subscribing wherever you're joining me from. If you want to take your singing a step further, you want to improve it even faster, I've also got ways to work with me privately and also some self-study courses. Links are down in the description below. Last but not least, if you want to inspire our next episode, leave a comment down below what you want me to talk about next. Lesson number 2. Singing that sounds good doesn't have to be a mystery. Do you know exactly what you need to do to sound good in a song? If I gave you a song, would you be able to make it sound aesthetically pleasing? You see, for me, for the biggest time, I had zero idea. I thought you either just sound good in a song or you didn't. And I also thought that, if you had great technique, if you could hit all the notes with ease, then all of a sudden you're gonna sound good. But this isn't always true. I've seen many instances where people are saying, I'm hitting the notes, I'm on time, I don't really feel strained, but for some reason my voice sounds a bit boring. It just sounds a bit flat, sounds a bit lifeless. And so a big lesson for me in 2023 was exactly this. Building technique is absolutely important. It just makes everything feel so much easier. A second piece of the puzzle when it comes to sounding good is this idea of singing into the pocket, which basically means, to sound good in a song, number 1, you got to be on pitch, right? Without the pitch, you're going to sound off. You got to be on time, making sure the rhythm is there as well. And then the last one is you're making good stylistic choices. I kind of call this vocal colors in my fundamentals course and the way I teach students. But basically it means this: as you're singing through a phrase, you can sing it soft, you can sing it strong, you can sing it with a bit more grit, you can sing it with a bit less, you can add vibrato, you can not add vibrato. What is appropriate for that song? what choices are you going to make? This is this concept of vocal colors. And so when you make these right choices, you're singing on pitch, you're singing on time, all of these three in tandem together is what makes you sound good in the context of a song. And this, on top of building the right fundamentals, has been a game changer for my singing in 2023. Even when I go perform live now, I just feel like I'm able to deliver the emotions much, much better because I now have awareness of all these different vocal colors, all these different choices that I can make as a singer. And so once again, what are some practical advices that you can take into your own practice? I want you to study a song by one of your favorite singers. And this time, rather than just singing it and just feeling it, take a time to listen to all the little vocal colors that they are making. Where are they going soft? Where are they going strong? What sort of texture does that voice sound like? Is it a bit more on the breathy side? Is it really clear? Is it really strong and present? What are all those little nuances that you're hearing? And see if you can do it as well, because that's going to be a great sign of control. And it's also going to show you, okay, there's a general trend of what sort of colors, what sort of choices to make. Lesson number 3. In 2023, I really spent a lot of time reworking my voice, working through the fundamentals, and honestly, there's a lot of work that I need to do. What this actually meant is for a lot of my practice sessions this year, it was really, really tough. And a lot of times it was very, very frustrating. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this as well, because basically every time I'd go and practice, I had to go stare at my own flaws, my own inadequacies, things that I couldn't do. And so what really helped me stay grounded, eased off a bit of the frustration when I was just, staring straight at my inadequacies, was learning to zoom out on my timeline. Because, a lot of those frustrations, a lot of those, like, man, I just can't get it, right? I can't get it. It's because we're so focused on seeing the results now. But a better strategy is, what if I just took a breath and I zoomed out on my timeline, which means, I'm already putting in the consistent, deliberate practice, and I'm already getting advice, ideally from a teacher. If I just did this over the next 5, 10, 15 years, maybe even for the rest of my life, I've got time, where would your singing actually be? And don't lie to yourself, right? Don't lie to yourself. Don't, give yourself over optimistic kind of goals, and don't undersell yourself as well. Just be genuine with yourself. If I put in honest work, I'm practicing deliberately, I'm getting good feedback, where would I genuinely be in these 5, 10 to 15 years? And you'll be surprised. You can go quite far with your singing. And all of a sudden, it makes that one practice session where you're feeling frustrated a lot smoother. And it's just going to allow you to stay consistent because you won't quit. Anyway, these are my top 3 lessons of 2023. I hope this inspires ways for you to keep moving with your singing journey. If this was useful, please just do all the usual social media stuff like comment, subscribe. This would really, really help the channel grow. Apart from that, my name is Ivan. I'm your voice teacher and look forward to hearing more from you, working with some of you in 2024. Stay tuned for these weekly episodes on Thursday and Friday, depending on where you're joining me from. Take care.